Alrighty, what have we today? Looks like Hinterlands. Got Draw with Stables and Guard Dog. There's some Guard Dog synergy. It kind of counters an opponent's Berserker. You could activate it off of Oasis. There's something there. Villages, looks like it's just Border Village. Trashing. There's no way to trash your cards here at all. Technically speaking, farmland trashes, but it doesn't thin your deck, because for one, like turning copper into state, for example, isn't thinning. But even if you did have something that was functionally thinning, like turning an estate into a 4-cost cantrip or something, you're still adding a farmland to your deck to do that. So you're only breaking even at best on thinning. So no trashing here. And plus buy is also conspicuously absent, though we do have some gainers. Berserker and Weaver can gain things, though only up to 4. And I mean, Border Village and Farmland can gain you 2 things at a time, which is slightly better than 1 thing. With some constraints. There's no way to double province here or anything. I'm looking at this, and I'm not a believer. There's just there's draw, there's actions, there's some mana gains. An engine could theoretically draw with like stables, and the payoff is you play a Berserker to attack the opponent and maybe get a province plus a tunnel or something. There's something there, but with no thinning at all, that just seems slow. And I kind of suspect this is going to be a rush of some sort. So like you'd take Weavers, then empty tunnels, and then you finish off with estates. That's 3 piles. You scored a decent number of points before your opponent's deck got online. That deck doesn't have to worry about Berserker. It kind of looks something like that to me, I think. You do gain tunnels off, or you gain tunnels off of Weaver, but what I was trying to say was you gain golds off of your tunnels if you discard them with Oasis. And then maybe that deck hits Duchy a few times or something as well for some extra points. That seems okay. And also, it kind of seems like the deck that Hardbot would like, which is bad news because that means Hardbot might be in its element today. Oh, also, I have the 2/5, which I think is actually not very good here. I think I would want to open Weaver Oasis for the deck I'm aiming at. You can open Berserker. Normally, Berserker attacks immediately when you buy it. You have to have an action in play, precisely because it would be ridiculous on the 5/2 otherwise. Imagine you both had the 5/2 and you hit your opponent's $5 hand. That's just table flip, quit the game. I mean, to be fair, Berserker is just table flip, quit the game anyway. It's one of the worst cards in Dominion. But it's extra bad in the opening. And so it has that constraint. Yeah. Is Cartographer actually seems reasonably good in this deck. If I ever hit 5 again, which no guarantee until very late in the game, but like it's synergized with the tunnels and with the Weavers, I wouldn't mind having a Cartographer eventually, but not doing enough in the opening, I don't think. Stable seems pretty bad in the opening. It's worse than Lab. When Copper is a better than average card in your deck, you don't want to discard Copper and draw an additional random card. So I think it's either Weaver or Berserker. I didn't really plan on getting Berserkers. Again, if your opponent has Weavers, like the attack doesn't do much versus the Weaver Tunnel stuff. Probably does slightly more than nothing though. I'm gonna take one of these anyway, at least in the short term. In the long term, Weaver probably has some more synergies. But I think Berserker, the attack might matter once or twice and stop them from hitting a price point. Yeah, I think it's just. Okay, well, this is at least potentially good news. Okay, so yeah, the bot had the Weaver in hand. This attack likely did not matter. The good news, though, is I saw all 3 estates, which meant I was going to get 5 here. And I just said Cartographer is good. I'm going to stick with that assessment. Take a Weaver. And an Oasis. Still love 2, because there are things I value at 3. 3 Weavers feels like enough before we go for tunnels. I chose that number largely arbitrarily, but that's what my heart says. So I think it's tunnel time now. Discard, discard, discard. Please. Nope, no dice. I think these split evenly. I can't discard everything, but I can at least play the Weaver, so I'll discard the Tunnel. And I can buy the last Tunnel, so I could gain 2 silvers off of the Weaver. Probably helps with hitting Duchy. A Guard Dog actually might also be decent here for spiking price points. It helps versus opponent Berserker or if I have an Oasis in hand. Yeah, I think Guard Dog sounds kind of decent. Not totally sure between Guard Dog and double silver. Alright, well we got an activation and skipped a bunch of junk. Seems good enough for me. Now where am I going? Straight for Estates? Maybe after this shuffle, I'm about to shuffle my deck, and so I'd rather put some good stuff into that shuffle. With a Berserker and a Guard Dog, maybe just a bunch of silvers, I don't know, Aces. Not sure about that, about any of this. Oh, Jesus. How did you get a province in this kingdom? That's not a good sign, that's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. Well, I'm hitting 3. A chance here. Silver? Nope. Actually, this is still 5 points. Farmland, Oasis, Duchy is almost as much as a province. I don't love losing Oasis, but what you gonna do? I nab these last 2 estates. I don't see a third pile that's low enough to be an immediate loss. I'm not loving my odds. I don't think I'm very likely to hit 8 again here. I really need it. I'm not gonna hit 8. Deal. So Guard Dog has some non-zero chance of getting to 8 if I draw a gold, which I have, I don't know, like a few copies in my deck. Or I could play the Weaver. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say and do Farmland Guard Dog into Duchy, but I don't even have 6 money. So yeah, we're rolling the Guard Dogs. So one could get a decent amount. I don't love lowering Duchies though. 4 is a much less exciting number than 5. There's nothing I gain that matters here. I can't gain any points, and I'm 26 cards up a shuffle. I don't think whatever I gain here is going to show up before the game ends, so let's not belabor the point. 2 is a small number. Okay, this could... How do I discard here? The bot has 5. I'm still in hot water. Probably I discard Duchy Cartographer and draw 4 random cards off of Guard Dog. The other option would be discard Duchy Gold, play Cartographer, and then I can line up the cards I want to see the most and then play the Guard Dog at the expense of discarding a gold. I would need to draw 5 total money. If I do that, I can't resolve the Guard Dog first. The way reactions work is you resolve the reaction when the opponent plays an attack. So if I drew now, I would just discard it again. I guess technically I should just decline now and then evaluate. So Cartographer Duchy means I get 4 shots to draw a silver, which I think is good odds. Discarding Duchy Gold means I draw 1 random card off a Cartographer, get to discard a bunch, but then I have to find like 2 silvers and a copper, which maybe is harder. The Cartographer potentially triggers my Tunnels and Weavers. The Weavers don't matter at this point because there's nothing worth gaining. I'm going to say this way, final answer. If I could hit 9 or more, that would be huge, because that's enough for Farmland Gold into Province, which is 8 points. Well, I didn't find a silver, but this is still a Province. Okay, now we're definitely back in the thick of things. And by thick of things, I mean we win. The bot just lowered Oases incredibly aggressively. I don't know why. If the Oasis pile weren't empty, I was just going to buy a duchy and offer the hardbot a tie. But hardbot said, here you go. Ooh, that was a scary one. I was pretty sure I was going to lose for a while there towards the end. See, we did about the same stuff. The hardbot also had one berserker, 3 weavers. I had a cartographer, which I actually had to discard on that last turn, but seemed kind of nice. I thought that was a reasonable second early 5. Not that this deck, I think, expects to hit 5 twice early on. That was just good fortune. What else to say about it? I would have liked more Oases. I think Oasis synergizes with the Weaver, synergizes with the Guard Dog. It does a decent job of getting you to 5 consistently. Like a handful of Oases just pitches a bunch of junk and hits 5 a lot for duchies. I don't know when exactly would have added them. Obviously, in the opening, I didn't get to open one. But I think in theory, a few more Oases would be nice at some point. I think that would just be early on is the time to add those. Like 4-3, buy one in the opening. I also had a $2 hand early on. Those both would have been times to add Oasis if I had 3. I guess the last thing worth saying is if you're playing versus a non-mirror strategy, like they're trying to build the engine or they're playing province-focused big money, probably take some more weavers early because you want a 3 pile on them, which I think probably looks like weaver plus tunnels plus estates, and you want to close out the game quickly. And then I don't think you stop at 3 weavers. You probably take a bunch. Given that we're both doing largely the same thing, there's not much value in winning the weaver split and losing the tunnel split. As was demonstrated here, the weaver stops being good once tunnels and estates are empty if you're both rushing. And then I think it's not exactly obvious. Like 3 weavers, bunch of tunnels, all that was clear to me. I'm not sure to what extent, once the last tunnel empties, are you pile driving estates? Do you add some guard dogs and some silvers and try to hit 6? Try to get all the way up to 8? And that's a state of the game I am still a bit uncertain about. And these decks ended up being pretty neck and neck, so it's hard to say what specific differences mattered here. Might have just been a case of luck. In any case, not the best kingdom in the world. That's Berserker for you.